guys, welcome to episode 6 of the Tech Check. Before we begin, here's a word from our sponsor.
Today's sponsor is Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. It has creation tools that allows you to create and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. Anchor also distributes your podcast for you on multiple platforms such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can make money with no minimum listenership, and everything is in one place to create a podcast. Download Anchor on the App Store or Play Store, or you can go to anchor.fm to create your podcast today. All right, guys, welcome back to episode 6 of the Tech Check. Today we have Aaroh Jugulom, who's our guest speaker, and he's going to be telling us about the effects of pandemic on tech and also some stuff on new phones. So, Aaroh, why don't you introduce yourself?
What's up, guys? As you already heard, my name is Aaroh Jugulom, and I'm excited to be on. It's a dream come true. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk some tech, bro. Let's get it.
We
I'm
hyped.
glad this is your dream, Aaroh.
This is my
Right.
dream. I told you guys from the start of time, dude. My goal was to be on an episode of the Tech Check.
Yo, the Tech
That's
Check
true.
is where it's at. It's
Exactly.
where it's at. All right, so I guess we'll start off with the effects of the COVID pandemic on tech, because obviously with everything being shut down, Corona is going to have a massive impact on the economy in general. All right, why don't you tell us about how this, focuses on how this has impacted mainly the tech industry?
Like streaming technology, gaming industries have kind of been propelled due to this because people are home. So you're working from home. You got to use like Google Meet, or like we're using Zoom right now to communicate with your peers and coworkers. And you get bored when you're at home because all the activities outside are closed and stuff. So what better way to pass the time than gaming? So that has also been a pretty big industry that has been propelled by the pandemic, and also an underrated, and like streaming industries also have been pretty big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, for those who don't, can't actually afford to buy themselves games due to either a lack of jobs or something along those lines, a lack of work, the streaming industry will always be there in order to support people who want to still be in the whole, whether it be gaming or uh, you know just like Netflix or something like that. It's always going to be there to support people. So
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, since we're all in high school, what platform have you guys been using for remote learning?
It's
Basically, I've been using Zoom and Google Meet. Probably the same for like Aaroh and Niraj because we go to the same
Yeah.
school.
We actually started using Zoom, and then obviously the Nelk videos came out, and a bunch of people found
Dude, I
out
love those.
ways to kind of hijack Zoom calls. I think there was like an
Yeah.
incident where the FBI got involved.
Bruh, and like also Google Meet hasn't been super good for me, at least. Like a bunch of my teachers have been kicked out of their own
yeah,
Meet.
no, that's happened to me
And
a ton of
like
times too.
I mean, and like I get kicked out, and then I don't know, you just gotta fake it. Say your Wi-Fi's not working, you're out of class for that day.
Rename
Yeah,
your name as Reconnecting.
Exactly,
Of
bro. That's
course.
the mindset, dude.
Yeah, low key. I mean, originally Skype, before the pandemic, Skype was probably the biggest out of all of the video call services. It's
And
interesting
Cisco
to see.
WebEx.
Sorry.
And WebEx. WebEx was pretty big too.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see how both Skype and WebEx fell behind to Zoom and Google Meet during the pandemic. Not sure if it's because of accessibility or better marketing or something along those lines. But it is definitely interesting to look into that.
Well, like I think the main reason why Zoom and Google Meet have been the most popular is because like their ease of use and like how fast like the companies actually respond to criticism. Like Zoom, you remember like there was this huge kind of scandal about them like storing data and stuff. And
Yeah.
within a week that was like fixed and everybody was,
Mhm.
going on with their lives. And then Google Meet the same, like it's integrated with Google and like the Google suite of tools. So like kids mostly use like Google Classroom and those kinds of
Yeah.
stuff. So it's just easier to use. So I guess that's why.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
super convenient to use Google Meet, especially when everyone uses like Google Suite stuff in school.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think like people mainly use like Skype, and I'm not sure about WebEx because I've never actually like heard of that one, but I think mainly people just use Skype to just talk with their friends or family and whatever. And like people might have been using Zoom and Google Meet like in businesses. So like for like meetings and stuff like that. So that's probably why like one reason we never heard of it. But I mean, and like
They
that's
got
probably a reason why it got popular like during the pandemic because like students also needed to like use similar tools as that.
yeah, but you can't sleep on FaceTime though, you know.
Hey,
FaceTime.
WhatsApp video
FaceTime.
call.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
dude,
Like
Bro.
they're
WhatsApp
trying.
video call.
Yeah, dude, they're trying, dude. They're like integrating ways like more than like 6 people can like get into
I
one
mean, they're
FaceTime
kind of
call. Like,
late on the game, you know. Like FaceTime
Yeah,
started with
no.
yeah,
their stuff.
Skype and Zoom has kind of run away with it after they got that hold on the market. So
yeah, dude. Like Zoom
There's
is
no way you can
dominating.
enter it now. Yeah, there's no way you can enter that market now.
well, you probably can, but you're gonna have to introduce something different to the market that appeals to the audience, which is going to be hard to do considering that. Well, it's gonna. I'm not sure if it'll be harder to market during the whole quarantine period and everything, but I don't know. Considering Google and Zoom's just power hold over the current this area of the industry, I really don't see anyone coming up soon unless they bring something revolutionary into the market.
Yeah, exactly. And like since they're already comfortable with these platforms, like why switch to a different thing? You know, if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously, you guys might have heard about like the rumors of like a hybrid school. I mean, I feel like over time, Zoom and Google Meet might be forgotten because people will be going back to school and like their old normal life. What do you guys think
I
about that?
A
well,
hybrid system for school is still going to use
Hmm.
online learning.
But it's gonna
So
fade away over time, right?
I mean maybe, but like people will still use it for like work, like if you work from home for some reason or you're like out of state or out of town and you need to use something to communicate with your
Yeah,
peers,
that's true.
Zoom in,
yeah,
like those other platforms will still be useful.
yeah, I know. Like for some companies, like I've heard Dell has just told some of their employees to just stay at home and just work from home, just until further notice. Like there's no definite uh, you know date where you can come back to work then or etc. They're just saying work from home. If you have to come back, we'll tell you. So I mean, in a case like that, Google Meet, Zoom, the video call services are going to be massive.
Hmm. Yeah.
And speaking of staying home, bro, just a reminder: social distancing, number one thing you can do right now.
Of
That's
course, and
facts.
put on a
I
mask.
agree. And remember to
Yep,
Stay
keep your
safe.
mask on. Yeah.
exactly,
Mhm.
bro. Get that hand sanitizer in, bro, and that toilet paper.
Facts. Facts.
All right,
99.9% of all bacteria is going to die with that hand sanitizer.
exactly. All right,
Um,
so what do you think about like the gaming industry and like the streaming industry during the Rona season?
Like for me, like I think the gaming industry has taken off and rightfully so because I mean, what else are people gonna do at home? And like streaming, such as like Netflix. I mean, like I'm already that kind of guy who will binge like an entire series in like a matter of days, but
Yeah.
since I have so much time at home, make that a matter of hours, dude. I'm like grinding seasons after seasons in like an hour.
Yeah.
bro, aren't
And the
we
bad
all?
thing is, and the bad thing is, like, I get kind of depressed when I see how far I've gone in one day. I'm like, bro, what did I do with my day, bro?
I mean, that's facts. I mean, like literally, like there's nothing else to do because you're just bored up in our houses. So it's just like you just
Yeah,
like game with our friends and you just like watch whatever you want to watch on like Netflix or like Hulu or
Yeah,
whatever
my
you watch
morning
on.
routine is I wake up, game for basically the whole day, maybe watch a couple of shows, game in the
that's the life.
evening, watch a couple more shows, and then yeah, call it a day.
That's the
Surprisingly,
life,
you
man.
game a lot, but your KD never goes up, and I strange.
Oh
Okay.
My
snap! Oh
yo,
snap!
my KD went up my KD went up 0.03 today. So I mean, you're sleeping
Yeah,
on the
see,
Aaron's
rug,
putting in
bro.
that
It ain't
Aaron's
work.
worth
Been
it.
making
on the grind.
progress.
Hey, my KD went up point oh 0.01 today.
Yo, 5 kills. I mean, 5 kills.
It's
I mean,
typical for Arrow.
Typical
Is
game.
back on the concept of the gaming industry. Um, it's going to be interesting to see how, like, I'm just going to talk about Xbox and PlayStation here. How they're going to release new gen consoles with the lockdown is still happening during
Mhm.
the holidays. I'm
Mhm.
not sure. They might probably just end up delivering them like normal. I'm not sure if it'll impact sales.
It'll
Mhm.
definitely impact the supply chain. I mean, like I don't know how they're gonna create all those like consoles with the whole coronavirus thing going on.
I
I
mean,
mean, like people are still
most
going out
cons-
and buying stuff now, so it's not gonna be that much different.
No,
I
but I
mean,
think I'm talking about like
But like most of the
production
stuff are made in like
factories.
China, right?
Oh,
Well,
that's what you mean.
I
well,
mean,
like
Oh, I
even
I,
don't.
most construction nowadays is is like roboticized. There's a lot of robots actually doing the work of putting stuff together. Most of all of the workforce, like human workforce, is mainly involved, development, R&D, that sort of stuff.
yeah,
So, I'm again, I don't really think the supply chain will be that affected.
yeah, and also like for both gaming and streaming, for me, for like this, for them to keep riding this wave, I think like the companies like Microsoft, Sony, and like Netflix, who they have to release like content that is still appealing, like
Mhm.
new movies, new exclusive shows, all that kind of stuff. So like the
Mhm.
user will still be in. So like a dude
Exactly.
cannot just like drill through all of Netflix and be like, yo, what do I watch? Netflix has to keep pumping out content for them to
Mhm.
like stay.
That's true, and filming content is going to be ridiculously hard during this period of time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, people. I mean, like some movies are still being like filmed, and some shows are still being filmed during like this time, though.
Yo,
Yeah, but like also from Netflix, it's like they don't need to like make the content. Like they just need like some shows. Like there are shows that aren't on Netflix right now that like they can easily sign an agreement with like the creators of those shows and adopt them into Netflix.
Mhm.
So we'll see if they
yeah.
keep doing that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they put a lot of like old shows on Netflix. Like I know Avatar Airbender was like filmed
Yeah.
like I don't know,
Bro, I binged that
sent
like 5 times.
Bro,
a long time
I
ago.
yo, I don't get the appeal, bro. I watched like the first episode. I was like, dude, this ain't it. Like
Arrow, we're gonna
I don't know.
lose
It's just that
viewers if you say
childhood
that.
nostalgia that comes with the show. Okay, you can't hate on it,
yeah, bro. I was watching The Flash because I am The Flash, as you guys know.
Ah,
But
yeah,
Of
bro.
course.
we
Arrow, of
do.
course.
but it is what it
um.
is.
All right. So, apart from gaming, streaming, video call industries, what do you guys think, or what other industries you think are going to be mainly forced to move towards, the digital side of reality?
I think like if most things are already on that side, I don't think, especially now, have already been forced to do it in order to keep their business afloat. So I don't like nothing comes to mind with regard to that because like you could argue like doctor or like this is not an industry, but like this is just like an everyday thing, like
The
going to the doc.
hospitality industry,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, just going to like the doctor and
Mhm.
you can like literally like meet your like personal doctor through a meeting, explain your symptoms, they'll give you a diagnosis and you can just they'll prescribe you medication, it's like the same thing except virtual. So I mean, I think we're already like at a point where like most if not all industry is digitalized and easy to use for people at home.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
agree. I mean, but like I feel like a lot of industries like right now they can be digitalized, like the hospitality industry. But I feel like once, the pandemic is over, I guess, like a lot of them will definitely have to go back in person rather than stay
Of
um
course, yeah.
online.
Yeah, because it's easier to just do stuff in person rather than have that liability of disconnecting or like that sort of like all like the risks technology brings.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that's it for talking about the effect of the corona pandemic on tech and stuff. So we'll move on to our second topic of today, which is new phones, new phone technology, that sort of stuff. Anyone want to start us off?
iPhone 12. What are your thoughts?
I'm excited. I would be even more excited, but like the leaks are showing like there won't be a 120 hertz display, which kind of is disappointing because like 120 hertz, that's a big deal. It's super noticeable, especially going from like a 60 hertz refresh rate. It's like so much
Mhm.
more smoother and stuff makes just the experience so much better. But like the
Mhm.
iPhone 12, I'm happy they're releasing kind of cheap models, kind of, and then like they're not like jacking up the price of the new models. So they're kind of focusing on value, which we'll get to later. And like I'm kind of excited. And they're also changing the design. It's like a boxier design. Like remember the 5S and like the
Yeah.
4? That felt
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
satisfying to hold. And like
Uh-huh.
I don't know, I can't wait to get my hands on it and like see how it feels because like having that boxed design makes it more secure in your hand. And you won't feel
Yeah,
like,
true.
damn, is this gonna slip out of my hands?
Yeah.
Like I agree that the box design is certainly like, it makes you want to hold the phone, I guess. But like you can have like a case on your phone, right? And that case will sort of give you that grip that you want, I guess,
I
right?
mean, it depends because like the case has to kind of like mold with the shape of the phone.
That's
You know what I
true.
mean? So
Yeah,
like,
it does.
it could still like slip out of your hand, unless if you have like I don't know, like rubber grips on your
Or like an OtterBox or
case.
something.
Yeah, I mean, an OtterBox really prevents it from like breaking when it
Breaking,
falls,
yeah.
not really from slipping. But I
True.
mean, it depends. I kind of agree with Arrow with like the whole like the box like shape because it just like feels more secure in your hands because it just kind of like I don't know lines up in like the joints of your hands just so it's secure.
If it's the
Yeah.
contour of your hand.
Yeah. Definitely. I prefer the box shape a lot more to the current, smoother lines. Again, probably due to the whole slippage thing, the fact that it's much easier to drop something with rounded edges than with squared off edges and stuff. Um, it's going to be interesting to see how other companies like Samsung will respond to this because they are rumored to create another foldable phone, and I'm not sure if that's really the way to go for the future. What do you guys think?
Uh, Foldable phones are interesting. I think if done right, they will eventually take over the phone. Like they will be like the flagship phone. But like right now, like the initial gen of the Fold, like there's like a thin layer of like a screen protector in which if it gets damaged in any way, the entire screen shuts off. So they had to recall some of the phones and then they had to produce it again and fix that issue. And like I don't know. I don't. It's kind of bulky too when you fold it. So I really like the folding phone. If they make like the next one like thinner and like more reliable, I don't know. I might consider it like good. But like for now, the folding phones ain't cheap.
Yeah.
Well, the concept of folding phones, I feel like, again, like Arrow said, will be more prevalent in the future, but that's only if they get the tech to actually work out to the point where it's not bulky and, overwhelming in terms of um, texture, grip, that sort of stuff. Uh, I mainly feel like they have to make screens thinner, the folding technology to work better. The whole that'll basically work out all the kinks and everything, so it actually um, performs like people expect it to. So yeah, for the moment, I gotta agree with Arrow.
I just hate the foldable phone idea, whole thing about it. Because like I would hate to have to like pull out a phone out of my pocket and then have to like unfold it, you know? It would just feel kind of weird. I wouldn't really like it as well. What are your thoughts,
Yeah,
Pratham?
I agree with Vinay there. I mean, like honestly, like it just feels like it's gonna break in my hands. Like even though if it's like built really well and whatever, I just feel like it's just more susceptible to break because it's just like I don't know. It's just like a screen that's folding or whatever. It just feels weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna compare it to like the Touch Bar, which you guys know I had a weird attraction to in like freshman year. Like it
Yeah.
seems like a gimmick in which you'll feel like, oh dang, this is super cool, like the first couple of weeks. But then like as time goes on, you'll be like, damn, like where's my phone? Like I need like a normal phone. It's getting annoying. Or like
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like
I
it's
mean,
not gonna be a feature that people are gonna want like a lot for the long
yeah.
term. It's just gonna be something that they just have, and then it's gonna be a nuisance at some point.
again, it depends on how they develop it. If it's like where it's looks like a phone when it's folded, like
Hmm.
it looks like a normal phone when folded, but when you unfold it, it's like a tablet or something along those lines. It might actually work out, but again, it depends on how well they pull it off. If they
Yeah.
don't, if they don't make it so it's easy to use, if they don't make it so that it actually looks good when it's in the folded state and it's actually functional in the folded state. It's essentially just a touchscreen flip phone. So,
Yeah.
and at that point, it's essentially just a nuisance, right? So
Mhm.
I can see where you guys are coming from, and I do agree with it. But again, if they do pull it off to make it so that's actually usable and less of a nuisance and more of, I wouldn't say a necessity, but uh, something that people can actually use for a benefit, I feel like it could be valuable in the market in the future.
Yeah, and like don't sleep on Apple too, because Apple is like sneaky because Apple has a tendency, to like make it the best it can be, like produce something like even if it's late and make it like the best in the market, like easiest to use, most convenient. And Apple is
Mhm.
already like filing patents for like technology that you need in a folding phone. So like within the next like 2 or 3 years, watch out, Apple could release something,
Yeah, no,
especially
there's
like
definitely a
2021.
possibility of that happening. Apple's notorious for that sort of stuff. So, um, all right. So, I mean, another phone brand that's been relatively slept on, as seen with Vinay's lack of knowledge of its existence, is OnePlus.
Hey yo, 1 + 5 = 6.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think about the OnePlus Nord?
I don't think it's gonna exist after it's released. That's my personal opinion. I think I think I think I think Apple. Hey guys, hear me out. Hear me out. You guys think I'm crazy. All right. I
Yes.
think Apple and Samsung are way too dominant in the phone industry. I don't think any phone will really be able to compete against them, including the OnePlus Nord.
Bro,
I
there's
haven't
like
even
other
heard
phone
about it.
companies that Apple and Samsung might be like the two giants, but like there are other like quality phone
Yeah,
brands,
I know, but
including
like
OnePlus.
I don't know if they'll like have an impact in like society, like
Wait,
I mean
value is huge.
maybe in like Europe and Asian countries, but I don't see it like happening in
Well, that's the
America.
What?
majority of the That's the majority of the
I
world's
mean, yeah,
population,
yes,
right
yes, I
there.
know that. I know that, but like I'm just looking at we'll cut this out, cut this out, cut this out.
Oh. No, this is
No, we
because
ain't
people
cutting this
want to
out,
see.
Vinay. This is getting kept in.
I don't
Um,
care. I mean, just looking at it from my perspective, I don't think it will really impact the American community. I'll stop it there.
I mean,
it
like not
doesn't
all.
matter whether it impacts the American industry or not. It matters about if it impacts a global industry. Yeah, because I mean, OnePlus has always been they've always created really good phones, and and the fact that just nobody knows, at least compared to the two giants of Samsung and Apple. The fact that nobody knows them has always been their downfall, but they've always created really good phones. And I'm actually really excited to see what they pull out with the OnePlus Nord.
Is there any like features that like make it different than like Apple and Samsung phones?
Price.
Yeah,
Well,
price is
Price is
a
a
big
main
what if
feature.
Apple creates affordable phones?
They do, and
like the
it's the
iPhone
Yeah.
SE.
SE.
It's competing with the SE, and the SE is nothing compared to this phone. Like this phone offers like in-screen fingerprint sensor, like multi-camera system, solid display, solid processor, 8 gigs or 12 gigs of RAM. 12 gigs of RAM for a $480 phone. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's kind of
That's
Yeah,
like,
insane.
yeah. And then it gives you all like the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connect, like the latest Wi-Fi and Bluetooth features, and it has fast charging. So for $480,
I
that's a
guess
Apple
it's a
will
steal.
good
easily,
budget phone. Pretty good budget
yeah,
phone.
Apple will
Yo,
easily like for those specs, Apple will easily run the price up to like $1,000.
yeah, no, like I mean, that's a lot like the Note 10, which is the phone that I currently have.
Like think
But
about the Google Pixel, right? Like do you guys see the Google Pixel that popular, I guess?
It's the best
And
well,
camera
like
on the market.
yeah,
I mean it is, but like do you see that many people like having a Google Pixel, I guess? I feel like the OnePlus Nord will be like that.
You know how people like if nobody bought the Google Pixel, Google wouldn't keep making it.
yeah,
I mean
no,
People
I
are
guess,
buying it.
but it's not like
I know a
I don't
decent amount of
know.
people who have a Google Pixel.
I
Yeah, my cousin has a
guess,
Google
but
Pixel.
I don't know. I don't feel like it's as I don't know. I don't feel like it's like a difference maker like Apple and Samsung are, right? Like
It might
I don't know.
not
That's my
be a
opinion.
difference maker, but well, it
Like,
could. The
yeah, I
thing is,
agree. It'll be a solid phone. I mean, obviously this is against what I first initially thought about it, but I don't think I really don't think it's gonna be like a difference maker. I guess. I'm not
So
repeating
like
myself, but
it doesn't need to be a difference maker. I mean, like, so like you can look into like YouTube, like the comments are pretty funny, dude. Like a iPhone 12 or like an iPhone 11 Pro review, and the comments are like me watching on my iPhone 4, dude. People like cherish value. People like want the bang for their buck because they're not willing to spend $1,000 on a phone, while they can spend less than half $1,000 on a phone with similar features and added features that the expensive phone cannot offer. So the main feature is price because like not every like most people aren't willing to drop a rack on a phone.
Facts, and the fact that you can find this phone when it comes out, obviously, for less than half the price that you find, current top tier phones, it would actually be it might actually be really impactful to the market if marketing gets out and that sort of stuff, and people actually realize, hey, good affordable phone, we can get this instead of buying the iPhone SE or spending $1,000 on the latest Apple product or Samsung
Yo,
product for that matter.
But like guys, speaking of OnePlus, I want you guys to search out OnePlus Buds and see if it looks a little similar to something.
What, to
OnePlus
like,
Buds. All right, let me look it up.
Bro,
OnePlus.
not now. All right.
Oh my god.
AirPods.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
So they're the same thing as
God.
AirPods.
Bro, OnePlus is trying to copy Apple, bro.
Hey, it's all good though.
Well,
No.
I mean, the entirety of the tech industry revolves around people copying each other and making it better. So
I guess. I mean, yeah, that is how it works.
The AirPods, like Apple has this because like nobody refers to it as wireless earbuds anymore. They just call it AirPods. They've become the Kleenex of the headphone world.
that's actually true.
I mean, what about Jawbreakers? I heard some talk about how good they are.
Jobbers are good, but
Yeah, but they're not as well known as AirPods because it's from Apple.
You had both, right? Which one would you say is better?
Guys, I think we're straying away from the top phones
Oh yeah, that's
a
true.
bit.
but these are
All
accessories
right.
to the phones.
True.
Yeah, phone
But we have an
accessories.
episode later. Stay tuned for that. Coming about headphones. So we're going to talk about all this sort of stuff there. So let's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, let's leave it out of this one.
Yep, we'll leave it at this one.
Let's put a pin in this.
So, what was I going to talk about? Right. There's another really big, important news about Apple products. Apple Silicon. Aaroh, why don't you tell our listeners about that?
So Apple Silicon's their next big thing essentially at WWDC this year. So like they released iOS 14, the new OSs for like Apple TV, iPad, and all that stuff. But like the main thing is Apple Silicon. I think people are like they're not talking about it as much as they should, because Apple is now going to make their chips in house. So like they don't have to rely on Intel they don't have to purchase any chips from Intel because it's cheaper just to make it in house, which will thus make it cheap. So like if it's cheap, people see cheap, I gotta buy, and that'll just they'll increase their user base for the Mac, and possibly entice those new users to like invest into the Apple ecosystem. Yeah, and then from there AirPods and that train, how that goes. So I mean, this is I think if Apple does this right, it's going to be a slam dunk, but we'll see how it performs compared to like the competitors.
All right, so I guess we'll wrap up our episode there. Lots of good stuff that happened in this video, including Vinay memeing himself multiple times.
That's a classic though.
It's for the viewers, guys.
All right, so as always, stay safe. During the whole pandemic and everything. Wear a mask. In the end, thank you guys for listening, and stay tuned for the next one.